Hello and welcome to Kent Tonight on KMTV. I'm Josie Hannett. Coming up in the programme, Syrian family moved to Ashford, and Gills boss talks Leicester sacking. But first this evening, a rapist who threatened to kill his victim has been sent to prison for more than 20 years. 30-year-old Christopher Moore from Dover strangled and punched his victim, smothered her with a pillow and threatened to kill her pet dog. The jury found him guilty of 9 rape charges as well as using controlling and coercive behaviour, both offences introduced in 2015. He's been sent to prison for 19 years, with the judge adding another 4 he must serve on licence. Police have confirmed the victim of a death crash on a dangerous road in Kent was a 45-year-old man. He was killed when his Audi TT careered off the A291 Canterbury road yesterday. The road was closed for almost 5 hours and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are appealing for anyone with the information to come forward. A 14-year-old girl from Kent is urging women to stop drinking during pregnancy. Rachel Jackson from Who has fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and I spoke to her about how the disorder affects her everyday life.
Occasionally I wanted to kill myself, so it was very hard for me to live with that every day, and every morning I didn't want to get up and go to school because I knew there was kids that would bully me because I'm different.
14-year-old Rachel Jackson talks about the effect fetal alcohol spectrum disorder has had on her life. More commonly known as FASD, it's caused by women drinking alcohol during pregnancy, which causes birth defects to the baby. 1 in 100 children are born with the disorder. That's around 2,700 children in Medway. Sharon Jackson has fostered more than 40 children in her life, and she's adopted 5, including Rachel, who all have FASD. She started a charity, FASD Awareness in Kent and Medway, with Tracy Allen, who's also cared for children and adults with the disorder.
When I went out there to find out any information on FASD, I came up with a blank wall, and I know that my children have suffered because there wasn't the help or the understanding of FASD out there. If you had a day-old baby, you wouldn't take it to the pub and fill its bottle with vodka, so why would you do it? I think we just need to really be clear on women, for mums, that they are damaging their baby. And as I say, there will always be the one that said, I drunk and nothing happened to my baby was born normal. But do you really want to take that gamble?
Rachel's been diagnosed with autism, ADHD and sensory and anxiety issues as a result of the disorder.
I always have to have someone with me just because I'm scared someone might hurt me, and it's really difficult to go on public transport because you don't know sometimes where you're going or what time you have to catch that bus or the train or anything really, so it is quite difficult.
Rachel's learning to cope with her disabilities and high complex needs, and it's hoped her story and the launch of the charity will make pregnant mothers think before they drink. This is Josie Hannett for KMTV.
A computer-generated image has been released of a man who was found dead in a farmer's field in an effort to identify him. This is the picture being circulated as detectives have been unable to identify the man who was found by a dog walker in a field off Hollow Lane in Wincheap 3 weeks ago. Investigators are working on a number of theories, including the possibility the man had travelled down to Canterbury from London and become disorientated. He had a small black suitcase, an unregistered Oyster card and a book on clinical theology. A petrol station was evacuated this morning after a car burst into flames. It happened at the gate services on the London-bound A2 at Dunkirk. Just after the driver had filled up with fuel, as smoke started to pour from the Astra, he managed to pull away from the pumps and park near the exit. Luckily, no one was hurt. A refugee family has thanked those who've supported them moving to the UK. Ismail and his family were forced to flee from their home in Damascus after the protests against the Syrian regime descended into a bitter civil war. They're now living in Kennington in Ashford, and we managed to speak to them.
We left Syria in 2012. The situation was really bad. No electricity, no gas, very dangerous. My wife was 8 months pregnant, so we had to flee and go to Jordan for her safety. We were very welcomed when we arrived in the UK, very welcomed from the council when they received us. We would like to thank our neighbours as well, who are very brilliant and very lovely. From me and all the Syrians who arrived here, we would like to thank the UK.
University fees could go up to more than £13,000 after plans were announced by the government today. This could mean degrees in England are more expensive than in some states in the US. We've asked people studying in Kent what they think of the move.
It's bad, clearly. I think they've already raised it too soon, up to £9,000, and that was only, what, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. So to raise it again, and after all the outrage that there was in the first place, I think, you know, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. £9,000 was more than enough. Like £13,000, I don't have to try to run people into debt here, run people into the ground. It's just ridiculous. Like, we're barely struggling at 9. What makes them think we could do 13?
If you're really that set on going to university, I don't think it's going to be that much of a deterrent, because obviously if you want to go to university, you're still going to get a loan.
I don't think it would have made much of a difference, because we're still going to be in debt at the end of it. So it is just going to be that little extra, but it's also a 2-year course. So in theory, like, most courses are 3 years, so it's going to result in the same kind of debt anyway.
£13,000 seems like a lot of money to me. I mean, we're already paying a lot, and I know a lot of my friends and family are struggling to pay.
A secondary school has sent a message of support to its former pupil as he prepares for the final of Let It Shine. The Brookhill Park Performing Arts College in Hythe have shared this video to get voters to support 22-year-old Aaron Bentley. He will be taking part in the contest's final, headed by Take That lead singer Gary Barlow this weekend. And in sport, Gills boss AD Pennock says the sacking of Leicester manager Claudio Ranieri is a joke. He aired his views at today's pre-match press conference ahead of the Gills game against Southend United at home tomorrow.
What he done last year was unbelievable. I don't think it'll ever happen again. But this is why it's just, you know, it's a horrible industry. It's a horrible, honestly, it's ruthless, it's horrible, but we love it. That's the thing, you know. And you know, what's happened with Ranieri is a joke, really, for me. I think it's an absolute disgrace. But that's the business we're in, and I'm sure he'll be okay.
And here's Louisa with a look at the weekend's weather.
It will be a clear and chilly night for most of Kent this evening, with temperatures dropping to 3 degrees. Looking towards the weekend, it will be a cloudy couple of days, with Saturday proving a little colder than Sunday, where temperatures will reach highs of 10 degrees.
That's all from us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Good night.